Tim Draper. I don't know if you saw the Tim Draper interview with Gary 3 years ago, in 2018, when this interview took place. And Draper gave a system. I love what he said. And by the way, for people that don't know who Tim Draper is a beast of a guy, is who he is. Here's how he broke down the system. He says, bankers are panicking. He said this in 18. He says, this is their system. It's always been their system. Step number one, they say, this is nothing. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, NFT, nothing. You ain't got to worry about it. There's no way they can, compete with somebody like us where Jamie Dimon's got $7 trillion of money circulating through Chase on a daily basis. That's like whatever the number they say. That's a pretty big number that they go through, right? So he says, step number one, these guys are nothing. They're not going to make it. It's just a fad. It's going to go away. Step number two, now it's too big where you have to face it, okay? So what they do is three, bankers all get together and say, we can't make this happen. What do we do? Step number four is we sue them. Step number five is we bring our government friends to say, I need a favor. I need you to sue those guys. And he's telling this to Gary when Gary wasn't yet the SEC chair. He was only the chair of the CFT, Commodities Futures Trade Commission, right? CFTC.
It's like he's clairvoyant.
Exactly. Absolutely. That's what was so epic about it. I don't know if you've seen this or not.
What did Gary say?
It's powerful. So then Gary's trying, but I think we're already there. But I think we're already there. And then he says, and the last one is Tim Draper, frickin' mic drop. He says it's make or buy. This is what everybody do. All the great companies, they either make or buy. He says you either have to choose to make a similar product, similar exchange, similar token, similar wallet, or you have to buy it. And that's eventually going to happen. So that's where we are today. Now, go to politics and bring politics on board. For 4 years, I've been saying, when people say Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, all these crypto, Patrick, this is what's going. I said, you have to realize there are those who are driven by freedom. Leave me alone. Let me do something better. And there are those that can't stand it, that you keep getting richer and more powerful. They cannot stand that you keep making money. We had Matt Zeller on yesterday, and we talked about Trump, and I hate Trump. I hate Trump. You know how angry he got, and you and I had lunch at Louis Bassi.
I like Matt Zeller, yeah.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
We're bringing him back on board. I think Matt's great.
Yeah.
But you and I talked about it during lunch, and you said what? You said, why do you think it's such a thing about...
He broke him.
Yeah.
What was it? There's something about Trump that makes these people
and I said,
violently angry. I
said, because there's certain people in life you're okay losing to. You're kind of like, well, listen, I lost to my cousin. The guy kind of comes from the richest family, and he went to Harvard. I'm okay if I lose to that guy. He makes more money than me. He's more successful. It's fine. But then you have that one cousin whose mom and dad were, let's just say, divorced, and one was an alcoholic, one went to jail. That cousin beats your ass in life. You can't deal with that. Right. You got to diminish him. You got to throw him. You got to do all this other stuff, right? Crypto is almost like that cousin and that coin where it's like, listen, fiat's been around for a while. Gold's been around for a while. Who the hell you think you are? There are a lot of people that don't want to see this happening, but there's one good thing that's happening today to the crypto community. There's more true believers today than ever before. There are more credible sources that are coming and saying, look, we're putting our money into it. We're going to fight as well. It's now the crypto community is a political party.
Yep.
So we're back in the days where Democrats wanted to win the black vote, and they did after Barry Goldwater.
That's a great point.
When the Democrats wanted to win the black vote, because blacks forever have been conservatives. I mean, Martin Luther King was a conservative. He was a Republican. Like, we got to win it. Barry Goldwater gave it away. Yeah. Went from 60% to 92% African Americans voted for who? For Democrats, and they've had it since then, 92, 88%.
Civil Rights Act, yeah.
It's been a while, right?
Yep.
Political parties today have to be very careful. And I think this is going to favor whoever's on the free enterprise side of the political side. Because Gary's a Democrat. Biden's a Democrat. Kamala's a Democrat. And the ones that are going after crypto are all on one side of the political party. The libertarians, the independents, which is the crypto community. Crypto community is not Republicans. They're typically independents and libertarians.
Anti-establishment.
Yeah, anti-establishment, which Republican is establishment to them, so is the Democratic Party. Right. But I think what's happening right now is if this happens, I don't think this is just a financial issue for them. If they settle, whatever they do, forget about that part. I think they're going to be crushed politically because it's no longer just 100,000 votes or 500,000 votes. You got millions on top of millions that now have influence.
I'll tell you why you're 100% right, especially with the younger community. All right, this is, again, E.B. Tucker, great guy we had on last week. there's kids that I've coached in baseball, kids that I still follow, that are now young adults. They've never held gold. They don't give a shit about gold, but they've been trading crypto for 5 years.
Absolutely.
They've gone and they're learning blockchain technology in schools. I learned cursive. You know what I'm saying? These kids are learning blockchain, triple ledger. They understand the technology in ways that we don't. We're almost old in this, and these guys, this is not like new alien technology to the next generation. This is just a way of life to the next generation. So it's only going to get bigger. And they saw what government does. They saw with GME, what happened with GME when the government literally stepped in and made it okay for the hedge fund not to go under. For people that don't remember what happened with GME, they overhedged on a short.
Yep. Wall
Street Bets came out. A couple, rogue analysts came out and said, these guys are leveraged past their teeth. All you got to do is keep the price above the put, and they got to pay whatever. It could go up to $1 million a share, theoretically. And it had gotten up. It was a $6 share. It had gotten up over $350. Oh, yeah. And it was going to go up over $1,000, and they just turned it off. You could sell the stock,
right,
but you couldn't buy it.
No, you're right.
Right? So what the SEC did in that regard, or what they didn't do, I think I ended up getting like a class action, like $12 check from Robinhood or something like that. Webull, all these exchanges. If you didn't believe in the necessity for a decentralized, unregulated blockchain, you can lose your money on Mt. Gox, but you can also lose your money in the stock market, and they could steal from you, and you have no recourse whatsoever. That right there, what happened with that Wall Street Bets, what happened with that 6 million, I think it's up to 10 million Reddit, a subreddit, is you had an entire block worldwide that lost trust and faith in the market and in regulation. Whatever little faith that they had in regulation, they lost it all overnight.
Let me tell you how on point you are. Just a little over a month ago, I started a website, and I'm plugging it, but I don't make any money. There's no sponsors. It's called cryptolaw.us, and I put an app in it. And all you do is you put in your address and your zip code, and you type your message, and it goes to your congressman and your 2 senators. In a little over a month, 6,000 messages have been sent to these elected officials. 100 senators have been contacted by these crypto people, and 420 representatives. All right, it's making a difference. They are very engaged. All right, that's an incredible number to have 6,000 in a month.
That doesn't do anything. Trust me when I tell you, having been in government, that does everything. So many people don't make contact with their elected officials that the few people that do, their voice is amplified so much. I tell a story from when I think one of the first times I was on the podcast. It was an old lady at Nunn, and she thought people were speeding too fast down the church, and she would literally call and show up at the State House once a week. Hey, we need a speed bump. Is there any way we can get a speed bump? I'll raise money for a speed bump. And then finally it got to a point where it was like, we need to fast track the speed bump. I don't want to deal with this lady anymore. She was the nicest activist in history. The lady got her speed bump. It took her like 4 months.
Right.
It was just one person that writing an email, making a phone call, showing up at the State House, and she got her speed bump. Yeah. The system works if the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and that cryptolaw.com, that's a game changer, man.
And I'm actually wrong. It's 8,000. I just remember it's over 8,000 messages have been sent to them, and people are sending me some of their letters. And many of them get the form letter. Hey, thank you for contacting.
Well, don't do that. Don't do the form letter.
Right. Some have been doing that. I'm talking about
filtered out.
the SEC. I mean, not the SEC. The elected representatives. They're getting the form letter from the app. But some of them are actually meeting with their constituents and learning because they see where this is going. I've had people send me letters that they received from their congressmen, a couple of them here in Florida, where they said we're involved in this SEC, we're monitoring it.
8,000 people, bro. 8,000 people. Look at Jersey. You just had Phil Murphy win by what, 6,000 votes? Yeah. You think that
guys, listen.
8,000 people? Yeah. He's like, if they're going to write me an email, they're going to vote.
Let me tell you. If I'm the Democratic Party right now, or the Republican Party, or if I've ever like the Libertarian Party that puts a candidate like George Jorgensen, love her philosophies. Love the philosophies. You can't sell. You're not a salesperson, right?
People thought Spike Cohen was running.
If there ever was a time that you saw an opportunity for Ross Perot was able to get to 21%, whatever the number was, 19 to 21% as an independent, if you've ever wanted to capitalize on a, like if today Libertarian Independent Party wanted to get to 30, 35%, like this is a market. This is not going away. So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.